Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we are going to be learning how to shape the bodice block into a more fitted block. What we have here is a loose bodice block. In order to make it more fitted, we need to take out the excess data around the waist, the hip and the underbust measurement. So for us to get those measurements required to be taken out, we need to do some calculations. So for the underbust measurements, you need to get the length of your underbust and the round underbust measurement. For this particular pattern, we have underbust length as 38.5, which has already been outlined on this pattern. 38.5 for this, 38.5 cm for this particular pattern, and the round underbust for this particular pattern is 80 cm. So we'll go ahead and calculate, and for the using the formula, using the formula 80 or underbust measurement divided into 4, and for this pattern is 80 cm. 80 cm divided into 4 is equals to 20 cm. So that is the measurements that we need around this place to tighten the underbust. So what we'll do next is to take our ruler and place it on the line of the underbust to see what we have here. Whatever we have here is what we are going to use to subtract the measurements that we got from our underbust measurement after dividing it by 4. So what we have here is 28 cm. Then 28 cm plus this dot is 28 cm, but minus the dot because this is going to be taken out. So what we have here is 1 cm. 28 minus 1 is 27. So 27 cm after missing out the dot is, after missing out the dot, 28 cm, we have 27 cm after missing out the dot. Then 27 cm minus 20 gives us 7 cm. So the total number we need here is 7 cm to tighten this place. So what we are going to do now is to distribute that 7 cm on this line. So the first thing I'm going to do is to take this ruler and on this line, on this dot line, you measure the amount you need to take out from here. So I'm taking out 2 here. Then on this other line, I'm taking out 3. Then on this side, so 2, 3, which is 5. Then on this side is remaining 2. I'll take out the 2 cm. So you take your ruler and connect to the bust point. This is the bust point for this pattern. The bust point varies. So for this is it. So this is for the underbust. For the waist shaping, the formula to get that is round waist measurement divided by 2. Round waist measurement, waist divided by 2. And for this waist we have 84 cm. 84 divided by 2 is 42 cm. 42 cm. So we are looking at 42 cm. By the time we are done tightening the waist, we should arrive at 42 cm. Now we are going to take our ruler and also place it on the waistline to get the measurement that we have there. For this, please note it's on the CF line, not on the slanted CF. So you come here, you place it to the side, so the side seam of the CF. on this line, not this line, on this 1.5 cm I was taking in doing the when we're drafting the pattern. So for this we have 28 cm. Then 28 cm is what we have, but we still have our dart here which needs to be taken out. So you're going to take your you're going to minus 3 cm, the amount of dart you have here, you're going to minus it from the 28 cm. So we have 25 cm left after missing out with that. Then you come to the back, you do the same thing from your side seam of the CB. You place your ruler here to the slanted CB. To the slanted CB. From here we have 23 cm minus 2 cm here. We have 2 cm here. Minus 2 cm is 21 cm. So at the end of the day we'll have 21 cm plus 25 cm, 46 cm. So the total of what we have around this waistline after minusing the darts is 46 cm. And for our measurements and what we need for our waist to be shaped is 42 cm. So we're going to take our 46 cm minus 42. So we'll have 4 cm left. So we're taking out 4 cm from the waistline. So what we're going to do now is to distribute the 4 cm on this side and on this side. So I'm going to put 2 cm here on the waistline, or 2.5 or 3, depends on how it's looking when you're shaping it. Okay, I'll use 3 here, then I'll use 1 here. So I'm going to connect from the UP of the side seam of the center front to the underbust line and to the waist. Connect it. I'll do the same thing to this. Connect to the waist line where I have the 1 cm. So the next thing we need to do is to shape the hip line. And to shape the hip line, I'm going to come to the hip line and take out the excess 3 cm that was imputed when we're drafting this bodice block. So you have to figure out how you want it. So you're doing your pattern. If it's giving you a funny shape, figure out how you're going to distribute the measurement on the bodice block. I'll come down to the hip and take out the excess around the hip like I said. Then here I'm going to put in 1.5. So our 3 cm is taken out. So you connect. Connect it to the side to the waistline, I mean. So for the center back and for this side seam, I'm going to use this to make it clearer. So for the waistline, you connect your dart leg to your waist. Connect this to your waistline. Connect this to your waistline. Then you increase your dart construction line to the hip point. Do the same thing to the back. So this is what the waist shaping looks like. So taking out the excess measurement. In order to cross check if you're on the right track with your waist measurement, so while you come to your waistline and do the same thing I did with the underbust line. So I'm going to cross check. I have 10 cm here. Remember, round waist rather is 42. That's the waist measurement that is required here. So I have 10 cm here. 10 plus 12 is 22 cm. 10 cm here. Sorry, 12 cm here. 10 cm here. So we have 22 cm. Then you come to your CB. Come to your CB. You do the same thing on the CB. On this new side seam, we have 12.5 cm, which is 13. Then we'll have 7 cm. So at the end of the day, this calculation, 22 plus 13 plus 7 will give us 42 cm, which is our waist measurement. So we're on the right track. Now for the hip, you do the same thing. Then for this is 42 cm, which is the half hip measurement, not the quarter, half hip measurement. By the time I combine this and this, it's the half hip measurement. So that's that for the waist shaping. Underbust, the waist and the hip is ready. I am going to tighten the shoulder line for the Bustier style line. So for that, I'm going to use 100% tightening. 100% tightening. The darts measurement is 8 cm. So I'm going to distribute the 8 cm on this side and on this side. So for this side, from my inner dart leg, I'm going to measure 6 cm. Then on this side, I'll measure 2 cm. I'll increase the dart leg to the new point of the bust point, or to the new bust point. So after that, I am going to connect this to the bust point. Then I'm going to connect the 2 cm also on this side to the bust point. So you can go ahead and blend in. So this is going to be taken out. So the shoulder dart is ready. The next thing we're going to do is to create the bustier styling. Now we'll come here to our waist, our side, to our side fronts at our UP. We'll mark 1 cm in. Do the same thing to the back, 1 cm in. We have 5 cm as our ease around our bust line. So because we're making a bustier, we need to take it out. Take out. We've already taken out here, so we need to take out enough. So take out enough measurement so that it's not, the bustier is not loose around our chest. So I take out that 1 cm is, you connect it down to your waist again. So I have taken out my 1 cm. The next thing I'm going to do is to now draw. I'll need to close the darts before I draw my styling, and I can't close it properly. I have to transfer this shoulder dart somewhere else. So if you need to draw your styling on your neckline, it's better you close your shoulder dart and transfer it somewhere else, like we did with our that manipulation. Transfer it at the bust line, then close it and draw your style line. When you're done, you open it, you open this and close this back. That way you have your style. But since I'm using a princess seam, there's no need for that. I'll just slash, okay, because I'm still going to cut this way. So I'm going to slash from that construction line to my point S. That way I'm able to close my shoulder. Remember, doing our dart manipulation, you slash to your point S where you're, depending on the length of the darts, where you extended the dart to. So I've slashed to my point S and I'm taking the dart. You're going to crease it first so that it's easy for you to. I'm taking the dart now from my new dart position, my inner leg dart position, with here to this new dart position. So I'm going to take it and close it. So it to meet this dart. Then I tip it down. So it's relaxed here. Tip it down. This is my chest line. So now, how do I get? So it's important you also know where your client wants the neckline. So from my chest point, I'm going to take it up by 4 cm. Think it's between 4 cm to 4 cm or thereabout, or you measure from your MP on the client's body to know where they want it. So from here, I'll just take 4 cm up. Sorry, from my bust line. I'll take 4 cm up. going to redraw the style line from this 1 cm that I took in. So you trace. I'm creating a sweetheart neck. I'm taking it to my bust line. My bust line measurement. Now you can go down by 1.5 inch. Some bustier, around the armpit side is low, or you come up by 1 cm. Some people's armhole is very, some people's armhole or some armhole on the pattern is usually deep, so you can come up in order to cover that side. You can come up by 1 cm and connect. But I'm going to use this armhole measurement for that. Let me use the curve. I don't want the edge to be sharp. You see it? So you can use your curve too. So this is it. Then if you need to go up, like I said, you raise it up by 1 cm to cover this place. That way you go this way, take your curve, connect. It's gonna be like this. This piece to have that V shape. So this is the raised armhole. This is the original armhole. Then if you want to go down, take it down by 1.5, or depending on how the client wants it, you connect to that 1 cm that you took in. Then note, if you're going in by 1.1, if you're going down by either 1.1, 1.5, you have to do the same thing to the back. You do the same thing to the upper part too. Whatever it is, so wherever you're starting from, whatever amount you're going up, you're going using the same measurements. The same thing applies to the back. Now, to the back, before we finally cut our pattern, to the back, you're going to increase the dart leg upward and downward. Then you can go in. Already, we already have 0.5 taken out here, or more than that, 1 cm taken out here from our slanted. We already have 1 cm taken out from our slanted back, 1 cm here. So you can go in by 0.5 here, 0.5, and connect. Then the 2 cm at the hip, the excess that we have at the hip line, we have taken it out from this place. But if you don't want to take it out from here, you can take out 1 cm here, then take out 0.5 here. That way you have the same measurement that you have. You have the same drawing, the same construction you just did up down here. But since we've taken it out, there is no need for that. Then of course we are going to create our back neckline. So depending, if you want it straight, you can just rule a straight line, but if you want it a bit low at the back, you can come down by, depending on how low you want it, but make sure your bra length doesn't show. You can come down by, from your bust line, come down by 5 cm, then you take your curve. From whichever one, if it is from the 1.5 cm or 1, you take it, but I'm taking it from the original bust line measurement. So you curve. Then mark your green line. So cut. Now note, if you don't want it that here, you can, let me cut it out. Let me cut out the pattern. Now you're going to, first of all, okay, let's cut the back first. So you're cutting through the new shaped shaped pattern, the new lines that we just constructed. Now please note, we're making a dress with this, like we're making a dress. All we have to do is to just increase the length of our pattern. Then of course our 3 cm at our hip, this is not our original hip. We'll impute our original hip on our dress pattern. Then that 3 cm, the length of our original hip will definitely not, is not 22 cm below, depending on the person you're working with. But if it is, you can still work with it. But if it is more than that, you rule your new hip line. Then that's where you're taking out the 3 cm is from, that is on the hip. Then you connect it back to your waist. But this is a blouse. So now you cut out the slanted CB. This is your zip line. So if you don't want to cut, if you don't want to hold in this dart, or you don't want to sew the dart, rather, you don't want any line at the back of your dress, you can take this in this will not work for it because we'll have increased the dart. So it was 2 cm that to have laid. So remember to mark your balance mark. You cut out. This is what the CB looks like. The CB. You have to make sure this line is, this place bulging like this is blended. You do the same thing. And you open your dart. Open it. You're going to cut through this new line. Please remember to blend in this place. It's looking sharply. Or use your hand. You already have the sharp. Something here. So you cut. So your balance mark is already there. I've already written it. Balance mark. This is where it meets. This is it. Then if this place is too sharp, you can still blend it in. The 5 cm allowance will left around the bust. That's the essence of leaving the allowance. So you can still blend it so that you don't have a sharp edge. Or a funny looking edge. So cut on fold. Same thing here. The green line, cut 2. So this is it. That's what it looks like when you sew it. You're going to leave your allowance. You sew. If they stay too sharp, you blend. Pattern. So this is how it's going to look like. This is what the joining is going to look like. Add your allowance 0.5, 0.5 on the side, seam, CF, side, back. This is our CF. So this is what it looks like. Thank you. See you in the next class.